Hey guys, Underground Geek here. So you know what day it is. It's time for my Comicsgate news video. So I've got a bunch of stories here to talk about today. Um, you know, a lot of them's going to be from Bleeding Cool because they've just been on a roll here lately with their stupidity. But there's a couple other ones coming out. I may have missed a few things just because like a lot of stuff happened this week. But a lot of good things did too. So as we get into it, one of these things that I just caught that I don't know if anybody has been talking about is this story here. It says comic sales have been declining for years, says Dark Horse's Mike Richardson, and it was published yesterday. So maybe just nobody has seen it yet, because I mean, does anybody really read Bleeding Cool? So here's the deal. They interviewed this guy, Mike Richardson. And, I mean, it's probably the shortest story I've ever seen. And, of course, it's by Rich Johnston. So, you know, let's see. Let's see what this gem is about. So, basically, Mike Richardson, he owns more of a comic book publisher than anyone else in that he owns Dark Horse Comics. No investors, no shares. He started it. He never sold it. It's his. As a result, he is also the reason that Portland is such a comics town. He was the first. Oni Press broke out of Dark Horse. The CBLDF, Image, and IDW followed suit. In that regard, the only figure he could be compared to is Steve Gippy, who owns all Diamond comic distributors, which is probably the biggest monopoly I've ever seen. And they both have been doing so for decades. It says basically, I love when a journalist says basically. Basically, Mike Richardson knows stuff. So when a Diamond So when a Diamond Comics preview PR interview to promote the upcoming Frank Miller's Xerxes comic book, he is asked, as far as timing is concerned, you're launching this new Frank Miller project in a little bit of a downturn in sales at comic shops. What kind of sales response are you expecting from this series? And he answered, there are many reasons contributing to the lag. You know, before I read this is a standard sales answer. It's a standard sales answer from a standard business guy. There are many contributing factors to the lag in sales. It's nothing new or even relevant. Comic sales have been declining for years. Despite the current market conditions, I expect the comics to do well. After all, this is Frank Miller, but in the end, the real success will come when the work is collected and the graphic novel is released. I mean, that's verbatim like everything a business owner would say. And then here's Rich Johnston's response. Comic sales have been declining for years. As cold as you can get it. From a man that knows. Okay, so since he said it, we're just supposed to believe it. Okay, well he said it then, you know. Must be true. Don't check on anything. It says Diamond Comics reported overall sales drop of 10% for 2017 over 16. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Marvel. But they tried to spin that as still one of the highest revenue-raising years in the comic direct market. But a lot of that can be seen as reflecting a greater amount of product, a more expensive line of product, and publishers playing a red queen race to try to stay the game, offering discounts, free copies, and pushing the collective cover market. Wait a second. Did he just acknowledge Marvel overshipping? Guys, he just acknowledged Marvel's overshipping. And it says basically selling more comics and more expensive comics to a smaller audience year on year. Yeah, it's a smaller audience because they keep pushing it to people that don't read comics. So then he shows a couple pictures of the Xerxes book, and it looks like they're on snow. But is that really the book? Look how bad those guys' faces look. That's terrible. Jesus. Anyway, so yeah, I love this little story because this is all it is. Like this is it. This is it. And then his answer is, well, he said it. It must be true. I mean, it's like they're not even trying anymore. But so let's move on to the next story here. I'm just depressed after that. That was such a bad article. Erica Henderson announces her departure as Squirrel Girl interior artist. Yay! And it's written by Jude Terror. You know, the guy that likes to block everybody on Twitter because he's such a scared little coward. Erica Henderson has announced the end of an era for the unbeatable Squirrel Girl on Twitter tonight. The issue of Squirrel Girl Henderson is currently working on will be the last on which she is interior artist. However, Henderson noted that Squirrel Girl will continue with an as yet announced new artist, and that she'll continue drawing its covers. Yeah, because we really wanted you to draw the covers. The interior art that you did was the main problem why people didn't buy it. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. So it says, "Hey guys, it's officially official. Oh, yeah. The issue of Squirrel Girl I'm drawing right now is my last. Writing this now to get ahead of the rumor mill. 1. I love how they always have to put these bullet points up. You always have to know exactly how to feel. Number 1, I left of my own accord to pursue creator-owned work. That means I got fired, so I want to do my own book. The book is not over. I'll still be doing covers. Yeah, that's pretty much a standard answer of I got fired. I'm going to do my own book now. It says, it's been a great 3 years, but 3 years is a long time, and I'd like to be able to branch out at this point. Or your book is failing. And lastly, thank you for all for being there those 3 years and supporting this crazy book. Nobody supported it. Yeah, your sales are garbage. And then Mags, of course, you know, all the virtue signalers had to come out. All the virtue signalers had to come out and get attention. Mags Visaggio says, congrats on a run that's going to go down in history. Incredible work. Yeah, it's going to go down in history as one of the worst books ever. And then you have James Asmus here saying, you're a champion and are going out on top. How can you go out on top when your book's selling like less than 10,000 copies? You're an idiot. And then somebody says, congrats on a great run. Good work. You're the best. Can't wait to see what you do next. Here's the heck of a run. Here's my thing. I don't see any negative tweets. I guarantee if I go to that tweet right now of Erica Henderson, there's going to be a lot of negative tweets. But yeah, so she's out. I mean, just look at this art right here. Is that not terrible? That is like, I mean, how do you make Kraven the Hunter look bad? They look like midgets with big heads. What is he wearing? What in the world? I mean, oh my God, get out of here. Anyway, so we've got another story here. It says, every comic announced for Marvel's 2018 Fresh Start relaunch. So we're doing a fresh start. We knew that already. But they've also got some new books that are coming out. And it says, Marvel's Comics are relaunching a large group of their superhero publishing line starting in May. They are calling this a fresh start that will see new stories and new creative teams across the line. As the new comics are announced, we're rounding them up in one place so you can see what's coming out. Alright. I tried to do a video on this a while back, but it screwed up on me, so I had to quit. You got the Avengers, Deadpool, the Sentry, which kind of gets my attention because it's got Jeff Lemire on it. We have Iron Man with Dan Slott. How do you have that cool of a cover and then put Dan Slott on it? Doctor Strange with Mark Waid. Margaret Stoll is doing The Life of Captain Marvel. I mean, why don't you put a little bit more boring of a title? The Life of Captain Marvel. Who gives a flying F? Ant-Man and the Wasp with Mark Waid. It's a 5-issue miniseries. Nick Spencer is doing Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, and you know what's funny about all this? All these are white guys. Have you noticed that? All these except for the Margaret Stoll is white guys. Ta-Nehisi Coates is doing Captain America, which is going to be trash. The Immortal Hulk is by Al Ewing. the guy that likes to block people on Twitter without ever talking to them. And there's a Cosmic Ghost Rider miniseries with Donny Cates. I'm probably going to get that one, the Cosmic Ghost Rider, because that looks really cool. Matthew Rosenberg is doing Multiple Man. It'll probably be pretty good. Thor #1 is by Jason Aaron. I don't know about this one. We'll have to see how that goes. And then Ta-Nehisi Coates is also doing Black Panther in space. In space! Because they can't come up with anything. We got Venom #1 with Donny Cates. Definitely going to get that. Avengers is by Jason Aaron. We talked about before. I guess that's it. So that kind of gives you the preview of what they're coming out with, what the new things are. And like I said, I tried to do a video on that before, but it got messed up. So I just did a quick, little recap to let you guys see what was happening. So yeah, let me know in the comments which ones you're going to be reading and which ones you aren't. I'm kind of curious to see how Dan Slott does on that Iron Man book, because it'd be hilarious if he failed again. Now, if he did good, it would just be one of those odd things where you're like, maybe he was on Spider-Man too long. Now, this is the story that really gets on my nerves right here. It says, Boom announces Power Rangers anniversary special from Magdalene Visaggio, Joe Quinones, Cena Grace, and Marcus Toe. What are you thinking? Oh my gosh, guys. Oh, that fires me up so much. It says, though the blockbuster movie failed to live up to its potential commercial success, the Power Rangers thrive in the comic books, and Boom Studios is expanding the Power Rangers offering to include a Power Rangers 25th anniversary special in June. Boom promises superstar creators like Magdalene Visaggio, Joe Quinones, Cena Grace, Marcus Toe. Cena Grace's book was canceled. Magdalene Visaggio is a person that threatened to beat people in the head with a baseball bat for having the correct genitals. And it says, and more in a press release for the oversized comic book, which aims to pay homage to the global phenomenon with original standalone stories set throughout the Power Rangers universe, including the original Ranger team from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, who premiered in '93, as well as other fan favorite Ranger teams. So, if you guys read the Magdalene Visaggio story that she did in the for Black Panther, that was the biggest dumpster fire I had ever seen. Just total trash. She embarrassed Black Panther, and it was a terrible story. Oh, man. So now they got her, or him, or whatever it is, doing a book. They've got Cena Grace doing a book. I don't know, guys. I feel like this is a big slap in the face to fans. Of course, Jude Terra did this story. I'm sure he was laughing the entire time. See, here's the deal. Here's what I've tried to explain to people, and I did this in a live stream before. You put these kind of people on these essential books like anniversary editions, annuals, and things like that, holiday specials. You put these failures like this on these books because you know that book is going to sell good regardless. Everybody is going to go buy this Power Rangers 25th anniversary special because it's a 25th anniversary special, okay? And they're going to buy it, and then they're going to get upset because these stories are going to suck, but they've already bought it. And that's the thing that I'm talking about here. They put them on that book so that when it sells good, they can turn around and go, look, guys, look, it sold. Look, Magdalene and Cena Grace must be good because the book sold good. And they don't actually, want people to see the fact that we know what they're doing. The book sucks, okay? Their books suck, and we see through the garbage, okay? But they do that because they know they're going to get those standard people, those standard sales, they're going to come through that. It's all just smoke and mirrors. So I got another short story here on Century. Bounding into Comics did a story on this. And it says, Marvel announced a brand new series from Jeff Lemire and Kim Jacinto, called The Sentry. And I'm kind of excited about this because everybody's, getting a lot of buzz going. They're getting a lot of excitement going. They're happy to see The Sentry back. They like Jeff Lemire on the book. So I'm really kind of excited about that. I hope it goes well. And they said right here, it says, well, it is different since Sentry and Moon Knight both have very different issues. In both cases, I want to craft a narrative structure that reflected those mental issues, and both series deal with multiple realities reflecting the inner landscape of the characters. So I suppose you could draw a comparison there. But The Sentry is not a retread of what I did in Moon Knight. But I did want to create a story filled with mystery and psychological depth like I did with Moon Knight. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, I wasn't necessarily a fan of the last Moon Knight run, but I also don't like Bemis. So, but well, like I said, I'm kind of excited about this. I want to see how it goes. I want this book to do good because I want Marvel to do good. I want them to realize who does good, and get those people out that aren't doing good. So that was just a short little recap of that. I'm really excited about that. I've talked about the Donny Cates books over and over and over. Venom, and now you got the Cosmic Ghost Rider, because I'm just really, really excited about those books. So here's a funny story right here from the Beat. It says, EIC Chris Rial steps down at IDW. Wah, wah, wah. It says, a lot of changes suddenly at comics companies all over. I've just learned that Chris Rial, formerly creative chief officer and editor-in-chief at IDW, has stepped down. Look at his face. Look at his stupid face. It says, this move is entirely of his own volition, I'm told. Rael joined IDW in June of 2004, and so he did what he went through all of those fallouts from the books, like in the 09, 08 era, things like that, and was still here, and then now gets fired. And oversaw its steady growth in both licensed comics and originals, as well as writing titles including Zombies vs. Robots, Groom Lake, The Hollows, The Colonized, Onyx, and licensed titles including Transformers. I've read one of those titles they just mentioned. So here's the deal. The dude got fired because IDW went full bore SJW and lost 90% of sales. Okay, they lost millions of dollars within just a year because of their total flop to SJW. They went full bore and it hurt them bad. Marvel can afford to do stuff like that for 2 years because they have all the bank behind them. IDW cannot do that. So guess what? The guy gets the boot. And I'm sure that they told him, look, you can either step down or we're going to fire you. What do you want to do? I mean, I'm not stupid to business. I know how business works. You can't fool me. But I really find this hilarious because, like I said before, this is of their own creation. They went full bore into SJW and it failed them. Just like it does every time. The market is not there. Those people don't buy books. They read it on Read Comics Online. They read them for free and torrent them. They don't actually buy the books, okay? And when they do buy the books, it's going to be some stupid thing like kid lobotomy or something. I mean, and they're paying for it. These guys are paying for it now. They're losing their jobs and then they're going, what happened? I don't know. Where did all the money go? Oh no, I'm fired. I mean, and then they want to come out and say, oh, I left of my own volition. Yeah, it had nothing to do with a 90% drop in sales. Nothing. But there's a story here that I want to talk about, if it'll pull up the link, where they were talking about Heather Antos. There's a little story I want to say about Heather Antos. I wonder if it's going to pull it up here. Or if this will pull it up. Oh, there it is. It says Star Wars editor Heather Antos leaves Marvel to be EIC of esports betting site Unicorn. Wah, wah. I'm laughing so hard at this. This is hilarious. Because they bet everything on this chick. She comes in and she's a total wabish to everybody there. Everybody's afraid to even do anything because if she finds out you're at politics, she will go after you using her work boyfriend. And and Jordan White. And so now, just like we predicted, this girl never wanted this job. She never wanted to be an editor at Marvel. This was a placeholder job until she got a better offer. And so she got her foot in the door. She edited one book, Unlawful Good, an anthology of crime, then immediately got hired to flipping Marvel. Okay? Nowhere does that happen. And like Diversity in Comics said before, nobody had the gall to say, look, you're not qualified at all for this job, but boobs. So we're going to train you. And so she says that she's going to the, be the editor-in-chief at Esports, which is a betting website for games, okay? So there you go. I mean, this was a long time coming. We knew this was probably going to happen because they definitely weren't going to promote her. Why would you promote that person? She's the one that started the Make Mine Milkshake fiasco that shut down Marvel Industry for like 3 or 4 days. And everybody had to virtue signal on Twitter. And pretty much made herself unfireable at that point. She was a sexual harassment lawsuit waiting to happen. So this is the best news that could have happened to Marvel, is that she got a job somewhere else and left. They were praying to God that this would happen. And now, it's going to be funny, though, if we start seeing other editors come in and do a better job than her. Now, she can edit a book, but she can edit a book after she's been there for a couple years. That should not happen. Okay, she should have known what she was doing before she went to Marvel. That's the whole point of Marvel. Marvel is the big time. It's not where you go to learn. Okay, and she also did a GoFundMe for $2,500 to move to New York from California, or wherever she was living, with her boyfriend so that she could do the job at Marvel. I mean, this is someone who acts like she is owed everything. Look at that goofy face. But anyway, so she's gone. We don't have to worry about her anymore. Now she's going to be somebody else's problem over at Unicorn. She'll probably be there for 8 to 10 months, and she'll try to come back to Marvel because they'll be saying that she sucks at her job and she never shows up and she has a bad work ethic. And she's also always going getting milkshakes. And here's one of her tweets. Here's one of the tweets that you really need to focus on. She said, "It's been a long time goal of mine to branch out into the video game and competitive esports world." No one ever says that. To do so under the guidance and leadership of Raul Sood and the Wonder Cow is something I never would have thought possible. I absolutely cannot wait to dig my heels in and get running. Okay, so you don't dig your heels in when you run. You run on the balls of your feet. It says, one might say it was fate to join forces with them after our first creation together so many years ago. And it says, it first introduced me to the world of editing and pushed me to pursue my dream of working in comics. To now be able to pursue my goal of working in esports alongside him is almost poetic. And she just keeps going over and over and over. But here's the thing that you need to address right here. She says, it's been a long time goal of mine to branch into video game and competitive esports world. So she never even wanted to be in comic books. But then again, when she got hired at Marvel, she was like, oh, this is a dream job. I love this, blah, blah, blah. She's a liar. She's wanting to update her situation. She's wanting to improve her situation. She doesn't actually care about the things that she's in. Like Diversity in Comics said, she said the other day that her first experience with comic books was Batman Forever and like the animated Batman series. Neither one of those are comic books. You're the worst at explaining things. Okay, you should have said something like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, my parents took me to the store and I saw Amazing Spider-Man on the rack and I begged my parents to buy it and I took it home and read it and I've loved comics ever since. That's how a real comic book fan happens. Heather Antos is the epitome of pop culture. She is not actually a fan. She is a quote-unquote nerd with nerd cred. This is an abomination and I'm glad she's gone. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope it was informative enough for you to let you know what was going on. And I hope you guys have a great day. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's only a matter of time before all these fakes get outed, but, hopefully it'll be sooner than later. And another thing, guys, if you're ever having a hard time, if you're ever struggling with things, success is the best answer. Go out and work hard and do well, get promotions, get wage increases, go out and do the great job that you've always wanted to do. because success is the best way to shut up all the fakes and the doubters and everything like that. Success answers everything. But all right, guys, do best in everything you do. Have a great day, guys. I've got some new t-shirt designs that's going to be coming out soon. I've got some cool artists working on, so we're going to see those soon on my Teespring account. So be sure to check that out when it comes out. But thanks for watching, guys. Underground Geek out.
I wish I knew you when I was young.